You are listening to the Hello Sport Podcast.
Get some stitches out on Friday, and then I'm back.
You got to get stitches out Friday.
Yep.
How many stitches you get?
Not many.
What's a boiler require?
No, not for the boil.
Oh, that's right.
I had a cyst on me back.
Yep. Tough fucking being in the wars.
That's what I mean. I've been in the wars. That's what fucking Zoe said. Zoe goes, I feel sorry for Daddy. Daddy's been in the wars.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Which is true. I have been. But little girls.
That's cute.
Well, they care about you.
Yeah.
They like hate. They saw my leg. They were like, I feel sorry for Daddy. I'm sad for Daddy. I was like, yeah, well, like, I don't even want you to look at it. I don't want your memory of me to be boil guy. Boil dad. You know? I'm not
Boily
a girl
Birmingham.
dad. I'm a boil dad. Anyway, how you doing, mate?
Good, mate.
Nice to share a Wednesday tequila with you.
Good to share a Wednesday tequila with me old mate Tommy Burns, son of an Aussie hero, legend through and through sort of stuff.
Quite a week this week. Still a busy week, but a quite a week.
Oh,
Been nice.
my God. It's just so much better
Yeah.
having less on. I can't tell you. I don't think I'm breaking news here, punters and dribblers, when I say that having less on is good for the soul. But last week just really got its talons into me.
Yeah.
And I felt like we're just moving from one thing to the next.
It's
and
Talon de Silvers.
talent to silver. And it affects my ability to stop and smell the rugby league roses, Tom.
Yeah.
And that's what I like to do. And this week,
It's been roses.
it's been roses. I've got my eyes on the weekend, Tom. It's a bit colder.
Dude, there's also nothing on this weekend.
You know what your boy's doing?
What are you
Going
doing?
down the Highlands, rugging the fuck up, get that fire roaring.
There you go, yeah.
Tip a couple into me,
Yeah.
few whiskeys.
Rug up your little girl, your little
couple
baby.
of Japanese lagers, yep.
There's nothing nicer than just, having your rugged up kid, like they're in the cold where they're all rugged
Yeah.
up and warm.
Yeah,
and
we've
shit.
started she's starting to run a couple of beanies.
Yeah. I saw that.
Look,
photo
it's
this
cute.
morning.
She's looking cute as a button.
We've
So
got
I
a-
am pumped.
We've it is like a family weekend this weekend. I've already got it sort of earmarked in, but Evie goes to me when I was going to drop her at school yesterday, and she goes, Dad, when are we gonna go riding our bikes? And I'm like, you're about to go to school. She goes, I don't even understand, Dad. What's the point of having bikes if we don't get to ride them? I'm like, all right, we'll fucking ride bikes, mate.
You going to the bike park?
Yeah, we'll just go to Centennial Park.
That bike track there?
Yeah.
Good looking piece of kit.
Dude, it's a good bit of road out there. Centennial Park Kids Bike Land, or like bike area. It's like a precinct in the park. Chris Mins would fucking probably bulldoze that for a couple
Oh,
of houses.
he'd be looking for that.
Minsy would be looking to bulldoze a kid's
Oh,
park.
is that something people enjoy? Give it here.
Yeah, I know. Listen, is that like something that heaps of people can enjoy? Let's bulldoze that fucking thing and put up a couple of apartments.
Yeah. Watch him just sidle a couple up to his good mate Triggerboff.
Allegedly.
It's all alleged.
All alleged. But there is a sick bike track out there.
There is.
Yeah.
I've eyeballed that and been like, when the time comes,
Yeah.
that's getting a lick.
We need to, unfortunately, you know how I built bikes for Christmas? Zoe's bike is too small. It was too small when we got it for her. So her knees are up around her fucking head like a clown bike. So she actually can't pedal. So I got to get her a new
I
bike.
didn't think she had pedals.
No, she got pedals.
I thought it was a push bike.
Training wheels and pedals.
Right.
Training wheels and pedals. Anyway, that's what I've got this
You
weekend.
didn't need to say that you built the bikes, by the way. You could have just said her bike's too small.
Well, no, because what I was saying
was
was,
like a little-
remember when I was trying to give you context about what the bike was. You may have forgotten the bike. Remember when I built the bikes with my bare hands?
Mate, I remember when the girls got bikes. That's a big milestone.
Yeah, well, and then I actually accidentally ripped off Evie's front brakes. I didn't know how to set it.
Oh, use the back brake, son.
Front brakes are for dorks.
Mate, like losers use front brakes.
Yeah.
Pedaling backwards, you know what I mean? The back press?
Yeah,
The
that's
back
what I
brake,
mean. That's what you do with like burnouts and
That's
shit.
what I'm talking about.
Front
mate.
brakes is, well, you're asking for trouble as well because you're going to fly over the handles, but you're also a dork.
So you booked in a family weekend?
Yep.
I might have done the same last week when the whips were cracking.
Yep.
And Daddy was out 2 days in a row.
Yep.
Work, by the way, so don't missude me.
No, you're allowed to do it, but obviously, you know, they'll never appreciate that. So you just need to take that with a grain of salt. They'll never understand that.
It was still a golf day into a racer's double.
Yes.
Also known as a double.
Yes.
And at which point I thought to myself, I'm going to need to butter this woman up. And she likes to be buttered up with trips to the Highlands. She loves it down there.
Yep.
It's a nice vibe. She can antique.
Yep.
I can also go to the pub, sit next to a roaring fire, and enjoy a couple of ales. Japanese, 4 pints, obviously, and some whiskies, Tom.
Yes. I had a whiskey last night. Side note. Couple, not one. Okay.
So I'm in it. You find me today, punters and dribblers, in a roundabout way of saying you find me today in a good mood.
Good mood. Weekend's coming up. I can't fucking wait for the weekend. But I don't know when the potty will come out, but we jumped on Matty Johns and Cooper Johns' podcast yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. I think it's out next week, but that could be me preempting things. Just a good family.
Really nice family.
Just a great family. Jack Johns, we were saying in the car on the way home.
There's a bit of.
You want to talk about good style of a bloke? Yeah. Jack Johns,
tall, drink of water.
Let me suck
handsome.
Jack. Let me suck Jack off for a moment. Yep. He one of the nicest blokes you're likely to come
comfortably
across.
One of the nicest people, and that's not to impugn on Matty and Cooper's good work, but they're cheeky little bastards.
But that's their style.
That's their style,
their MO, right? You know that.
But Jax just seems like a really good, solid, nice, honest human being.
Yep.
And
there was a couple of stories told that we're not going to tell here, just around his niceness as well.
Oh, no, he just seems like he's a good guy, just looking out for his family at every turn.
And friends.
And friends.
Not just family.
No. But listen, that's just a side note. He's a good style of a bloke, and we remarked as such after we left. Now, I will say this in a quite genuine sense. Even though we've known Cooper and Matty for a while now. We've known the family, but we've done shit. Matty's been on our podcast, we see him around, he's run Shape at the Cax and whatever.
Cooper's been on ours.
Cooper's come on and hosted, we've been a producer.
Yes.
But there was a couple of moments where I'm sitting there going, fucking, what a turn of events. We're now on fucking Matty Johns' podcast.
Oh, mate, it was a nice milestone for a couple of young podcasters with a dream.
And it was a good fun yarn. So anyway, that's out whenever it's out.
Good spot too. Good spot.
It's a really nice spot.
Great spot. Shout out to the Johns for having us for an hour or two.
Over
good water too.
Good glass of water over there. Cooper was not lying. The water's top.
Great
top
glass of water. Great.
I almost started choking to death at the start of that podcast.
I know.
That was embarrassing.
I know. I was like, come on, mate, swallow it.
Well, I didn't have any water.
Matty had to go get you another drink.
I know. I was like, I was going to go get it. I stood up. I stood up to go get the water.
No, you did.
I wasn't like, hey, I'm on your podcast, get me the water. I was like, mate, I'm just going to go get some more water because I think I'm going to choke to death. And you've literally just asked like the first question.
Yeah. But I think it went well. I think it went so well that the boys walked us to the car.
That's how good
That's
it went.
a good sign. If you're walking someone to the car, it's because you're having a great time and you want to extend the yarn.
We're still going.
If you're like, get the fuck away from me, you close. You see yourself outside.
Yeah. The front door's that way.
Yeah,
they basically hopped in the tray of the ute. They wanted to come with us.
They did. I thought they were about to jump in.
Yeah, which I would have celebrated. Yeah, I would have actually had. I would have.
If I didn't have to go home, I could have nipped down the road for a couple.
That's where I was.
And I reckon that was the mood.
I would have.
Don't you reckon that was the mood?
It was the mood for me.
But don't you reckon that was the mood?
I would have loved it.
Let's nip down the road for a couple.
I would have loved it. What are we doing? What's going on? Couple of beers?
But this is where,
I know, dude.
This is where my new life is. Because once upon a time, I would have nipped down the road. And I hope to nip down the road again. Are you telling
me if it was floated, you wouldn't have been like, fuck, we'll go for one?
I would have had to have.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is because I've got a new life now, I can't float it.
No, you can't.
That's the difference.
Yes.
So 6 weeks ago, I'm floating it.
Yep.
I'm going, let's go down the road for a couple.
Let's go. You guys
if Matty asked me to go down the road, I'm not going to say no. That's so rude.
That would be so rude, dude. All you have to do is tell your wife the potty's still going. It was a 3-hour podcast.
I go, Matthew Johns just asked me to go for a couple.
Yes. Yeah,
to talk shape.
Well, to talk shape and fucking anything.
So, yeah, you do that.
Yeah.
You do that. Childhood dreams and that.
Now, as it turns out, that was not... We weren't asked to go down there, but that was felt like there was something cooking there that we might have ruined. Well, we could also be overthinking it, and they were like, "Get these cunts out."
We don't overthink anything.
No, we don't overthink it at all. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. Lots of fun. What day is today? It was Wednesday, Thursday night, live stream. No idea who's coming on.
Just know this: it'll be me on my debut for the year.
Are you making your Thursday night debut?
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll see if we can wrangle, or it might just be you and me in a nice gamble cave.
We could do that. Depends how we go.
Well, it depends how we go, but a gambling cave is fun. But Penrith gambling cave fucking is tough.
It's not a great game.
Dour.
Oh, there's actually a couple of things I like the look of. Love the line.
Tango.
I love the line. I love it.
7.5, was it?
Yeah, love it.
That line's actually, yeah.
I love that line with Dill Edwards back.
Dude,
I love that line.
No, that line's actually...
I love that line.
Okay. But 7.5, maybe that's a bit of a... Is that a sacky?
Yeah, fuck yeah. 100%. It's a sack bet, 100%. I love that line. I reckon that line gets by the punter and the dribbler. That's what I think.
Is it still there?
Still there.
Still 7.5.
Still 7.5?
Dylan Edwards is back. He changes everything.
Yes, he does.
He changes everything attack-wise. Absolutely everything.
And Scotty Sorensen's back.
It's what are we talking about? 7.5. The Dolphins suck.
7.5. 7.5.
Nothing.
Now, there's no
That's
top... Oh,
It's all right.
but, I mean, it's not nothing.
No, it's okay, though. We can survive without him.
I'd like to know what Jenkins was... Is he playing again? He is, isn't he? On the wing?
Yeah, it's
Centre.
McLean and...
He's
Who's
centre.
the other winger?
Well, he's named at centre.
Who's McLean and who?
Alamotti?
Oh, Alamotti. So they moved Alamotti to the wing because he was playing centre.
This is the problem. This is the problem that Sebo and I face when gambling on the Panthers is that what you think you're getting, they change their backline setup so much, more than any team in the competition. They fucking announce a team, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, Isaiah's playing on the wing. You're
What
like,
we
the
do,
fuck?
there's a couple of things that you do know. You know that line's getting a lick. You know that Dill Edwards is at fullback, and you know that Tungo will be playing right centre.
Dude, I reckon you could lick the line into an Alamotti, you know? You lick the line into I know that fucking sullies the line, but I mean...
No, you lick the line. You just lick the line. That's all you need to do. You lick the line, just lick the line. I don't like... I think...
How have they still not got a photo of fucking Jenkins? Or is that a photo of Jenkins? He's just so white.
He's just... You can't see him. He's got his shirt off.
Oh, okay. He's just so white.
He's got his shirt off the albino.
Okay.
We know that Herbie Farnworth's going to be looking for a try like it's going out of rugby league fashion.
Well, no one looks like Herbie. Herbie, you could argue, is looking for a try now. He'd be fucking sniffing one out. But everyone knows that, so it's hard. He's got people open inside him, outside him, but he's not going to give it. He's looking.
But so there's there's already enough narrative here for you punters and dribblers to join us Thursday night for the live stream. It'll be myself in my
Sebo,
Thursday night debut.
You coming for a gamble on the stream? This Thursday? Yeah. Gamble
So we've got 80% Sebo.
Sebo at 80% is good. That's good. That's good enough. 80%.
I like the sound of that.
I like the sound of that. That was optimistic. You get him with a gambling stream as well. Like that's. Oh yeah. So you're talking about a little bit of a trying to win the jackpot.
We haven't
been for a while.
No, but we said it'll be a feeling thing.
Yeah.
And again, we've been too busy. So Thursday night, Hello Sport live stream.
Yeah.
Before we get into more rugby league,
Yeah.
I'm staring at a guy named Thomas Tobler, who's the new micro-influencer on the block.
Yeah. New Testament Tobler.
New Testament
single,
Tobler.
He's dropped 10 kegs. He's got a new haircut.
It's all coming up.
Baddie Patrol.
He's on Baddie. I told Ella this morning, I go, Tobler's been on Baddie Patrol. Because she's always asking after you. And she goes, what the fuck is Baddie Patrol? And I explain it, and she goes, he didn't call it Baddie Patrol, did he? I go, yeah, he did. And she's like, that is so good.
I've had people reach out. Nilso wants to join the Baddie Patrol.
Oh, Nilso wants to
mate,
join the
I reckon-
Baddie.
He's not in, but, you know, it's nice to have...
Yeah,
put your applications forward.
You've
There's,
got to earn
you know,
your way in.
Absolutely.
What does it take to go on patrol?
Just a keen, willing attitude.
Yeah, I think you kind of know when you know as well. Like, so you can't just ask to be on Baddie Patrol.
Yeah, it's more of a...
You've got to be asked, do you think?
Well, I'm saying no. I don't know if you have to ask, but I think if you're asking, can I be on Baddie Patrol? It's sort of a vibe thing.
yeah.
First rule of Baddie Patrol, though, is that you always talk about Baddie Patrol.
You never not talk about
No, you
Baddie
talk
Patrol.
about it.
You're never not talking about Baddie Patrol.
There's a lot of talking in Baddie Patrol.
But yeah, as Eddie said, you're now a micro-influencer and you're going to Sydney FC game?
I am, thanks to Under Armour. I guess I'm a bit of an Under Armour athlete now, you could say. In
What
good
is-
stead with like Marky Mark, who's a fellow Under Armour athlete.
You and Mark now know I'm going to need to ask that.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll be there.
Are you, so basically after Mark, they signed you, is that...
Well, they sent me a bunch of golf clothes at the end of last year. So it could have been, halfway between last year. So it could have been before Marky Mark even signed.
I think he may have just renewed, so he might have already been an athlete with him.
That makes sense.
But maybe not. Maybe you're the first.
I haven't met up with him at any of the Under Armour events yet.
So what do you do? What's the go, as we asked before, what's your deliverables on the night? What do you got to do? A reel, a fucking couple of stories?
Deliverables haven't even been mentioned.
They probably assumed, though.
I'd clear that up.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, if I just surely they would have told me by now.
I think they'd expect a couple of
They'd
stories.
Expect a couple of stories
at a minimum.
and some tags.
A couple of stories, we can do that.
It's implied coverage.
Yes. But I believe
We've
there's
worked with
personalised...
we've worked with some people in the past who used to try and, instead of paying you, they would just send you
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have.
to a giant shed in Newcastle.
But yeah, going out to the lounge at Allianz to watch the...
That sounds pretty good.
That's
really
mad.
fun.
That sounds like a great time.
Personalised jerseys. They're going to send us...
What?
I know.
Wow. What are you getting on the back?
Just Tobler.
Tobler.
It's Tobler. Just Tobler.
It's Tobler.
Just
Nothing pisses me off more than when you call people and go, it's Thomas Tobler here.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's not.
It
You're
does, nothing
confusing
pisses me off
people.
more when you
You're
just butcher my
confusing
fucking
people.
last name and have for
butchered
3
it.
years.
You know what Marnus Labuschagne does? He goes, no one wants to say Labuschagne, so I'm just going to go Labuschagne because that's what the people want.
What did Gwat do? He said, it's gout. Fuck what my dad reckons. Like, it's not Tobler, it's Tobler. It's confusing everyone when you say that.
It's not actually that confusing either.
It's super confusing.
It's not confusing.
Well, it's confusing me, and
Yeah.
I know you well. So it's confusing people that have heard of you, but...
Well, I'm getting my last name on the jersey.
Which is?
If you turn up to A-League, to the lounge on Saturday and go, it's Thomas Tobler, they're not going to be able to find
Can you get Baddie Patrol on the back of your fucking...
Ask for that.
Get around the lounge in a Baddie Patrol jersey. Yeah, that's really good for the brand.
We might need to get some Baddie Patrol t-shirts for Tobler.
Yeah, we definitely will.
Yeah.
Baddie Patrol.
Yeah.
But it's just like you get like a police badge on his chest and it says Baddie Patrol.
Senior Constable of the Baddie Patrol.
Or is it like
For his wallet as well.
Like
the old federal booby inspector?
Yeah.
For like
FBI.
a fucking, for a cop.
Booby inspector.
I'm with the FBI, federal booby inspector.
Oh, yeah, female body inspector.
Oh, female body inspector. Yeah, we're more of a patrol than inspections.
Yes,
it's
exactly
still early
right.
days. It's
Well,
still
you're
early
just out there.
days.
You're not menaces to society. What you are is respectable gentlemen who are trying to find respectable ladies, but you are on patrol.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And maybe males. I don't know what. Baddie Patrol is not restricted solely to heterosexual encounters. No. It's just baddies.
No, you like what you like, whatever you're into.
Yeah,
you can find baddies everywhere.
But and baddie is in the eye of the beholder.
Yes, it is.
Like
baddie is in the eye of the inspector.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Or
the patroller.
Your baddie may not be someone else's baddie. You know?
Exactly.
It's not about that. It's about patrolling for your own baddies.
Punters and Dribblers, April 19th, Hello Sport, 4 Pints, Dribblers Day Out. Tickets are on sale right now. It's a day of the races, Randwick members, trackside, and a day not to be missed. Ticket price includes booze and food. Edward, what a time to be alive.
What a time to be alive. An opportunity of a rugby league lifetime Easter long weekend. You get the Friday off and the Monday off. So no excuses. Play like a champion.
Yep.
This is set up to be one of the great days of all time. We did a test run, Tom and I, on Saturday. Happy to report this will be absolutely unmissable. Move fast. Tickets selling fast. They're in the bio. They're in the show notes. Quick. Thank you, 4 Pints.
Now, Eddie, we didn't get our good friend Uncle Reedy on the pod on Monday. Can we get him up now, Tobler?
Yep.
Uncle Reedy, obviously he's our Gossip Guys segment. Now, this is gossip that I need a bit of clarification on, and it's with regards to the North or the Western Bears or whatever the fuck they're called now. North Sydney Bears / Western Bears, which looks like it could all fucking fall in a heap. Shout out to Sam Perry. And I would like some clarity from our premier gossip merchant, Brent Reed. Purveyor of fine.
Rugby league clarity.
Yeah.
At that.
Purveyor of fine goss. Uncle Reedy, we got ya?
Hello, lads.
Great to have you back
Uncle,
on
how
again,
are you, mate?
I'm flying. I'm living the dream.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as always. Yeah, of course.
We missed you Monday. Sorry we couldn't get to you. We had a tech drama.
Far too busy, far too important, clearly.
Well, yeah, we're talking about yourself there. You're chasing scoops everywhere, chasing that goss.
Always.
Mate, we were interested to chat to you today about your article, I think it was yesterday, with regards to the Western Bears, or just the rugby league team in WA. Just trying to get some clarity on where it's all at, because the way I understood it yesterday is that the NRL is trying to get 120 million out of the WA government over 5 or 10 years to jam into grassroots, and then WA is like, fucking you pay it.
Yeah, well, money's the issue. I mean, that's been the issue all along, right? That's why they haven't been able to get a deal done and announce the Bears and WA are in, because they can't agree on money. The NRL wants a certain amount of money put in to build a centre of excellence, build a stadium, and invest in grassroots, and they can't agree on a figure. So that's why it's hit a wall at the moment. They're still working on it. I don't think it's dead and buried. I think they'll just delay it. My theory is, or my feeling is, that they'll delay it. They just need to. They just need some clarity heading into the broadcast negotiations. So if it doesn't happen next week or two, I think they'll delay it for at least a year. But I wouldn't say it's dead and buried. I still think, I always think, Tommy and Ed, with these things, if both sides want it to happen, then eventually they'll find a way to make it happen. And the WA government wants it. The NRL wants it. So I think at some point they'll find a way through it. They just can't find it at the moment.
So is this some just sort of high-level business negotiations where the WA, like the Premier comes out and he just, he's basically saying, like, the NRL's disrespecting the great state of Western Australia, and, like, they all come out and sort of talk a bit of shit, and then it's all just part of that. Like, do you, and I mean, obviously a great journalist such as yourself is never going to reveal this, but, like, are they sort of like, hey, Reedy, come out and I got something to tell you. They're disrespecting us. Yeah.
And there's a bit of chest beating going on. There's no doubt about that. So obviously it became a real election issue over there. I mean, Roger Cook won anyway. He won in a canter. So obviously it wasn't too big an election issue, but they tried to make it one, and that caused a bit of ill feeling, I think, that obviously he had to come out. Roger Cook, the Premier at the time, and still the Premier, had to back off a little bit because the opposition was saying, you can't put all this money into rugby league, and they were trying to use it to convince voters to vote Roger Cook out. It didn't work, right? But in the process, Roger Cook, the Premier over there, realised, I need to step back from this a bit and just calm the debate down, because it's not a good look, right? If you're going to spend 120 million or whatever on rugby league, and as we always know, people want to spend on hospitals and schools and things like that, right? So
waste of money, all that shit.
I know. So we had to tone the conversation down. And then that caused a bit of ill will between the government over there and the NRL. And look, I mean, they all backed off a bit, but I don't think it's really – I think there's a bit of a lingering ill feeling there that needs some time. There's a bit of shit on the liver, right? So you need to just let that dilute and go away. And once that's gone and they've got a bit of clear air again and that ill feeling's gone, I'm sure they'll come back to the table and they'll sort it out, because everyone wants the Bears back. I think everyone does. And this is the way to get them back.
How far away are they? Are they worlds apart? Or
it's like 65 million or something?
It's a fair slab of money, yeah. But I mean, when you consider the NRL's just about, well, it's not $1 billion business yet, but I think it's over the $700 million figure now. I mean, 65 is probably, if you can meet halfway, 30 each, then you'll probably find a way forward. So, and obviously there's some private parties over there who are keen to get involved. The NRL, Peter Cummins, the cash converters guy, was involved initially, and then the NRL sort of put him at arm's length, and he's out of the process. He's willing to come back in. So, mate, look, the Bears are I think Peter V'landys sees the Bears as a bit of a legacy for him, right? If he can bring the Bears back, awaken this army of sleeping Bears supporters, I think he sees that as one of his great legacies. So I think he'll find a way to make it happen.
On the Bears, so the Bears obviously have been on the sidelines for 25 years?
More. Well, when did they go?
Yeah.
27 years, somewhere. 99?
Yeah, it's been a while. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that sounds about right. It's been quite some time.
How many games do you expect they would actually get at North Sydney Oval?
I don't know if they get any. They might get one pre-season game.
It's just about having a team called the Bears, though, right? Like, I think that's sort of...
Yeah, bringing back the logo.
You'd still want one.
Surely
at North Sydney Oval.
they'd have to take at
Fucking
least
hell.
one, surely.
Well, that's the most they get, one game at North Sydney Oval, because I'm not sure that ground's really up to par anymore. So maybe they play the Warriors there or someone, the Titans. You know,
It's better than Leichhardt. It's
true.
better than Campbelltown Sports Stadium. Fucking hell.
Well, no argument there, boys. You know my feelings on Leichhardt. Bulldozer joint, please. There's a bit going on that front, actually.
Well, what's going on, Reedy? Give us the gossip, brother.
Well, we're recording. What are we recording now? It's 10 to 1? This is a live, I imagine?
No, this isn't live. This will be out in the morning, Thursday morning.
Oh, okay. So the Tigers are about to put the heat on Campbelltown Stadium. So if you don't spend $100 million on this ground, we're leaving.
Oh.
So they obviously had the Barney with Leichhardt over last year. Well, now they've got a Barney with Campbelltown Stadium. They're saying to the local council, if you don't spend $100 million, we're going. So,
Reedy, we might have to release this podcast early.
Well, it's going. It's happening. It's happening. No, it's happening in 10 minutes. 1 o'clock.
Mate,
Yeah.
what? This is sort of just flowing on from this Tigers here, so you may not have the answers, and we like to just throw shit at you without giving you.
Throw it at me, mate. Yeah.
But that club, like, anytime something good happens, it seems like people involved in the club come out in the media somewhere, and there's just more shit going on. Like, what?
But this is good. This is good. Basically, what they're saying to Tigers fans is, this stadium is not good enough. We deserve better. You deserve better, right? If the council aren't willing to spend $100 million to make it modern enough, to make it up, to bring it up to standard, we're going to go play it somewhere else. We'll play at Combank.
Okay, so this is positive Tigers.
Well, you can spin it. I like to spin it that way because I'm a half glass is half full kind of guy, right?
You always have been.
Yeah. So my view is this is positive for Tigers fans because this is what they did at Leichhardt, and as a result of that, they got money for Leichhardt. And it's they're getting $50 million for Leichhardt. As I always say, it's like putting lipstick on a pig, but it's something. So the plan is now to try and get $100 million over the next 5 to 10 years to invest in Campbelltown to make it a better stadium and make it better for the fans. And if it doesn't work out, they'll go play at Combank, which is a cracking stadium. So they can't really lose Tigers fans because you either play at a better stadium or you get a rubbish stadium rebuilt so that at least it's half decent. So I don't see how the Tigers lose out of this.
No, that's a good point. Shitload of money though, $100 million. Jeez, like
Sure.
have the council got $100 million?
Well, it's over 5 to 10 years or something, so it's 20. Just say it's 5 years, it's $20 million a year. I don't know. Don't councils make a lot of money?
I don't. That's a good question. I have fucking no idea what a council's making.
There's a lot of parking meters out that way, isn't there, at Campbelltown?
Well,
sure
There's more in Bondi, I can tell you. You can probably send a few million from fucking where I live. That's ridiculous.
There's a lot of houses out there. They can't don't council charge rates and stuff? There's a lot of houses in there.
Well, they do charge
the
rates, mate.
Campbelltown
I haven't
area.
had a chance to run an eye over the books, that's all. So I'm not 100% sure they
Trust me, there's a lot of houses out in that area and it's constantly growing. So I reckon they've got a lot of council rates out there.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
So I reckon they can probably afford it.
I think it's the fastest growing area in the country, mate.
Exactly.
There you
Well,
go.
deserves a decent stadium. And a good footy team.
Yeah, well,
So-
the footy team's starting to work. They're starting to get into their work.
They are, yeah. They're doing better. They're doing better, and they're constantly sniffing around, looking to upgrade their squad. So they got a bit going on at the moment.
Well, who are they sniffing around at, mate? You talking? You do a couple more whispers going on here.
Well, we mentioned the other week they're looking at Kai Pearce-Paul, the English back rower in Newcastle. They're having a look at him.
The English Sonny Bill.
The English Sonny
right,
Bill, yeah.
that's
We spoke about that the other day, didn't we? So
Yeah, we did.
they're looking at him. So, they're constantly looking
Where's
at...
Taylan May at? Or is it Taylan May? The one
Well,
that's...
Taylan, yeah.
Taylan's working some stuff out, I think you'll find. I think he'll be back eventually, but it's going to be a bit of time. I don't think it'll be this year.
Okay.
I think he's got a bit going on he has to sort out before he comes back regularly.
Yeah.
But he will be back eventually, I suspect, Taylan, at some point.
And what? Any other goss before we let you go?
Top of my head, I'm just thinking, boys. Nothing I can think of at the
No,
moment.
that's all right.
but,
Listen, I'm putting it on you late.
Is Jamal Fogarty going to Manly or what?
I think you'll find that they'll make him an offer next week.
Manly will?
Yeah, 2-year deal. Because his option's up this weekend. So once this weekend's out the way, Canberra won't take up the option. Manly will table an offer next week, and I think you'll find he'll go to Manly. I think he'll accept that. I think it'll be a 2-year deal, so worth just over the $1 million mark. So I reckon,
just over $1 million
for 2
2
years. For 2 years.
2 years, yeah, 2 years.
500.
Oh, okay.
So about 500 a year. Yeah.
Shit. Well, see, now I almost feel like that's even a little bit unders.
Take it.
No,
Unders,
we'll take
you
it.
think?
Well,
I think it's pretty good for Jamal.
He's good. I guess more just in the general economy of halves and what halves get. Like halves, you're almost like it feels like you're not far off just a half getting 8, 9 because you're a half and you need a half. It just feels like 5 over 2 years. Right? He's played well enough to be interested in him. You know, it feels like it's a little bit
but he's one of those blokes sort of at the back end of his career, I think, and he's a good player, but he's not really an elite halfback, is he? When you think about it, so. I reckon that's a pretty good deal for him. I think his option at Canberra, the Canberra option on him was over 600. I think, as I said, I don't think they're going to take that up. They've got till the end of this weekend. I don't expect that to happen. So he'll be on the market from basically Monday.
Love that, Reedy. That's good stuff. Now, sorry, just quickly, if the Bears deal falls over, the Bears bid done? Are they fucked now?
Yeah, they're in some strife. Yeah, I think that was their path back, and I'm sure they'll. As I said, I don't think it'll fall over. They'll find a way to make it happen. They might just put it on hold for a year and revisit it next year. But at some point, I'm sure it will happen because, as I said, the people wants it to happen. When people want stuff to happen, it normally happens.
Yep.
So I'm backing him in on this one.
Okay.
Righto, mate. Yeah. Thanks, Uncle Reedy.
Right.
Thanks, Reedy.
Good stuff.
See you, mate.
Yeah. See you guys.
Love that, man. Just another. I just love gossip, guys. It's one.
I just love gossiping.
It's my new favourite segment. Bit of goss getting around. The way he spoke about Taylan May, that was interesting. Obviously, there's like the obvious domestic violence shit that was going on, which the charges were withdrawn or whatever the fuck, however that went. And V'landys is like, well, he's sweet to return then. Like he's not. But he was like, there's some other things going on that he needs to work out.
Wonder what that means.
Now, that could be that he's, got a burgeoning rap career to worry about, but didn't feel like it was in a positive sense, just from reading the tea leaves.
Keep an eye on this.
Keep an eye on it. You only get that at Gossip Guys, I tell you. You only get that here at Gossip Guys, mate.
Do you reckon with Taylan, just quickly, do you reckon it might be, remember when Israel Folau came back? And they had all those stipulations about what he can and can't do social media-wise. Do you reckon Taylan's got a bit of that?
Maybe.
And that's why it'll take a little bit longer to figure out a contract because they've got to figure out how to weave in certain things to me. He has to behave.
Very well possibly could be, Will. It's not a bad shout there. Quickly as well, worth mentioning, you can catch Brent Reid on the Hello Sport podcast, usually on Mondays, and Gossip Guys, first and foremost.
Yep.
NRL 360, The Daily Telegraph, Triple M's Rugby League podcast, the name which escapes me, but even Reedy forgot it last time he was on here, so you can't hold that against me.
Footy talk.
It's not that, though.
I know.
But also the Hello Sport podcast on a Monday. Thanks for everyone for showing love on my music journey. I just do it for fun and peace of mind, but I do want to play NRL. For the people wondering when I'll be back, I'll come back when God
tells me to come. Until then, patiently wait.
Anyone want to join my Bible studies? I'll be running every Thursday from 6 p.m. down. You know what? Like, again, outside of all of the shit that he had legally, he seems like a lost soul a little bit. If you observe his socials, he's all over the shop. Sounds like he had a pretty fucked upbringing based on that documentary that his brother made. I'm not making excuses for the man either. I'm just sort of like, seems like there's a bit going on.
You're providing context.
Yep. Anyway, Tigers should do them.
Fucking oath.
He'd be a fucking pickup. He'd be a handy pickup for Tigers,
He'd
mate.
be a fucking pickup.
He'd be a pickup for anyone.
The Tigers essentially just like the Panthers, an old Panthers side.
Tigers would. Well, so are the Dogs.
But Tigers probably, if they get Taylan May, even more so.
Do you not reckon this wouldn't shock me one iota if he gets picked up by a big dog?
The Storm or something.
Storm. Now, he probably wouldn't go to the Roosters because they fucked over his brother, but it wouldn't shock me if he turned up in a tricolours.
Mate, it wouldn't shock me if he turned up at the Storm. Something like that. Rehabilitated, ready to go, in a new city, away from distractions.
He might be a bit too wild card for the Storm.
Maybe. But I know what you're trying to say. Maybe a rabbit?
Rabbitohs under Wayne?
Maybe a rabbit?
Shit, dude. Imagine that.
Maybe a rabbit. You got
Wayne's
Campbell
the sort of guy who would, I feel like Wayne could take him.
1,000%. Campbell Graham, unfortunately, not without injury. Who's their other centre?
Jack Whiten.
Jack Whiten. Well, he ain't.
So maybe they wouldn't go him.
Maybe, but I mean, he's good cover potentially.
He played wing at the fucking...
He could play
Panthers.
wing.
Get rid of Tass, no disrespect.
Well, exactly. Tass is interchangeable. Again, there's always injuries. AJ's had a fucking tough run.
Well, AJ's not a spring chicken. He's at the back end.
No, he's not. And again, Campbell Graham is injured a lot. Just is.
Interesting. Can you please find the fucking... Should have asked the great and powerful Uncle Reedy about this, but Super League purchase?
Yep. I was reading yesterday the NRL wants to buy 33% of it, but only if they get administrative control. So basically, we're going to run it.
Interesting. I respect that. We only want to buy 33%, but we also want to have we want to have control like we have full ownership.
Well, the new owner of Manchester United bought about 25% and he runs it. Can't remember. He's Sir
Jim Ratcliffe.
So it's not unprecedented.
Yeah.
I think they're just going, listen, you're struggling, Super League. You're sucking all the dicks.
Yeah, you suck.
Let us come in, run this bitch professionally, but we're also not kicking in more than 33%. I don't know what it's valued
What
at.
would that be? How much does the Super League cost?
Don't know.
That would have been a good question for Uncle Reed.
And I wonder what would your plan be if you're the NRL? How do you get that thing going properly?
It feels like it's a bit Premier League, like the only 4 teams are good ever. So you'd be trying to fucking maybe find a more, I don't know what their salary cap situation is there.
They might not do them.
That what they do have is promotion relegation though, I believe. So you'd be able to take advantage of that.
They've got the promotion relegation. I don't know if they've got salary caps over there. They may, but Premier League doesn't.
And a lot of the clubs lose money each year. Like, they don't run at a profit like the NRL now does. Like, a lot of the clubs in Australia are making profit now.
I was under the impression that a lot of the Australian NRL clubs don't run at profits, or has that changed?
In this article, it said that they do. I think because the NRL's kicking in more money to the clubs.
Fully turned it around.
So they're still negotiating about the NRL control, but Blake Solly and Shane Richardson have put the proposal together because they both have a history of working in the Super League in varying positions. But the NRL, like the level of NRL control is still being discussed, but now Abdo and PVL have joined the discussions.
It is understood that the owners of Super League's biggest clubs, including the likes of Wigan and Warrington, are on board with the proposal. The NRL's already been offered the chance to buy a 33% stake in the Super League, although discussions are ongoing with the level of control. Crucially, the ARL Commission Chairman PVL and Abdo are believed to have become personally involved in the talks. Right, well, there you go. So if they're involved. It's been whispered on the wins for a...
It's been whispered, Tom.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be included in the potentially in the negotiations for the broadcast deal coming up.
See, I would watch the Super League.
Same, I was about to say the exact same thing.
That's what they're trying to do.
If you had like fucking Nine or Fox League having like Super League games,
I'd watch them.
Pumping it up. That's probably how they would do it as well. Is they would make it bigger in Australia.
People would watch it, mate. The hardcore fucking rugby league fan would watch it. There's big games over there, like cup finals and like the finals.
But also,
games
like
I'd
if
watch.
you think about it,
They've got like in-season cups and shit as well.
But also, one of the big things when the NRL was going to America, at least initially, it was like It's like if we can crack that market, think about the gambling rev. I'd gamble on fucking Super League. I just don't know what I'm looking at.
100%. I'd be like, where's the ex-NRL player?
Yeah, where is he?
Give him the ball
Man of Steel,
anytime.
Give him the ball.
100%.
Dufty. Fucking George Williams.
Etc. I would 1,000% watch it if it was on.
Yeah.
I just don't know where to watch it.
Yeah.
And I don't go looking for it.
And I don't. You could also set up pathways, direct pathways with
clubs.
NRL clubs and shit.
Yeah. 100%.
Send your juniors over there, go and cut your teeth with the
Go
shitters.
cut your teeth. Instead of getting trampled on by rugby league players and at first graders here that are, 27, 28, 29, 30, Tom. Go over there and play 30-year-old plumbers.
Academies and shit.
Yeah.
You can send out your fucking weak English boys. We'll train them up. We'll get them tough, hardened.
Mate, Qantas is bringing in direct flights to London next year or the year after. Like, it's big.
Direct.
Yeah. 20 hours, I think.
Shit, that's a long time.
Long time.
That's a long time in the fucking sky.
All I'm saying is it's becoming, this big world of ours is getting smaller
Yeah. I'd prefer to be on a boat for 6 months, I think.
than 20 hours.
20 hours, dude. Knees around your fucking skull.
You'd be
Well,
hoping you're not
you'd
at the
hope-
back, that's
no.
for sure.
You'd be hoping you're in...
Or that you're short.
Yeah, you're a halfback or you're in business.
Yeah. Yeah. Business first or that you're a jockey-sized man?
The games are on at really shit times in Australia, though, just given the time zone. Like, they're on at 4:30 a.m.
I wouldn't necessarily watch them live.
on the
No,
weekend.
but I'd gamble on them and then I'd go to bed and then I'd wake up and I'd check
I'd wake up
the
rich.
account.
Yeah.
But just even like, and I mean, the gambling thing's just a side, being silly, but like, you could do more to, if the NRL owned it, you would be doing shitloads more to have coverage of it.
Yeah, well, mate, there's EPL games that are on at like 9 p.m. at night. So what's that, 12? It's usually 12 p.m. You could play games at 12 p.m. over there.
But also, I guess, I would be interested to know what the level of consumption of NRL games is over in the UK from the rugby league enjoying UK fan. Like, do they give much of a shit about NRL because it's clearly a better competition, or are they just more like we just follow our comp? Because if you were then able to get that bigger, if you were able to get NRL bigger in the UK, I'm just saying that opens some doors to a couple of young podcasters, a couple extra eyes and earballs,
Oh, so we get a bigger market.
Well, now we're big in England.
Yeah. We've got some listeners in England, although I wouldn't say that
They're mostly Australian expats, and that's
but not exclusively.
not exclusively. But if it's now a big game in England, look who's headlining their own show at Wembley.
Tom
And
and
Eddie.
Eddie. Wembley.
Yep.
Headlining.
Yep.
Show.
Yep.
What's that hold? 100,000?
Yep.
Sounds about right.
That sounds about right. Big country over there, mate.
Big country.
You don't need to capture a percentage of the market in this
Yeah.
big country,
Ed Sheeran, Tom and Eddie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The genesis of Dribble and Yarn.
The genesis of Dribble and Yarn. What a name that is.
Can I ask a question of the punters and dribblers? I just want to ask a question. Or can I float an idea?
Are you going to muse something?
I want to muse an idea that we've had
Okay.
and just see how it hits. We've become aware of a certain hack, a certain thing that we might be able to do. And I'd be interested to know, or we'd be interested to know, just some thoughts around it because it's pretty funny in our opinion. Now, the arias, right? I think we've maybe even said on this podcast before that there's no arias for podcasts, which is fine, whatever. Sure, we're not technically a musical act.
Well, I mean, listen, the only awards you can get in the podcasting space are ones you pay for.
Yeah, which
Bit
we
lame.
refuse to do. We pay, not just pay to win, pay to enter. Pay $300 and we'll fucking let you enter. Whatever.
Good hands.
Listen, I got excited about our idea. But every week on the podcast, on the ARIA charts, you can be number one album of the week, number one vinyl album of the week, number one Australian artist of the week or whatever, and you get a fucking plaque.
The vinyl one doesn't get a plaque.
Vinyl you don't, but number one Australian artist, number one album in the country you do.
You do.
Now, this is it's not a guaranteed way it's not a guaranteed hack here, but it's one that we've had an idea of. If we were to release our very first 2 episodes on vinyl, so There's one episode which is called Pipe Dreams, which was our very first, which was before it was our first podcast ever.
It's the first ever podcast called Pipe Dreams.
Where we were like, this would be a pipe dream if you were to be able to do this for a job.
Yep.
And then our first Hello Sport episode.
Well, I think it was called a pipe dream because we'd always talked about doing a podcast and never did one. So the first episode is called Pipe Dreams in homage to our dreams.
Yes, our dream of doing a podcast, but it being like a thing that we got to do for our whole life. Anyway, the idea is if we were to fucking sell a vinyl, which apparently is the easiest one to win, with our first 2 episodes on it, we'd obviously punch it up with a couple of other things. It would come as a digital download as well. Like you wouldn't need a record player to listen to it.
But also it'd be a collector's piece, a piece
Yes.
of memorabilia. To quote your old man.
Yes.
Where it's like a nice book and
History of Dribble and
It's
Yarn.
an 8-page history of Dribble and Yarn. You've got album art. It's a vibe. The whole thing's a vibe.
The whole thing, so you'd be making it sick. You'd throw in some, like a one of one, or not one of one, but like a limited edition hat
Yes.
to go with this thing. And we try.
One of one design.
One of one design. And you can only get it if you're doing this. But and we try and win. We try and get an ARIA plaque.
I've always felt like you and I deserve one.
Yep.
I don't know if that then gets you invited to the Arias, but it fucking should.
It fucking definitely should.
It fucking should.
We looked into this, and it is technically possible.
But we would need the support of the punter and the dribbler.
We need the support of the punter and the dribbler to be able to pull this thing off. And
what we're saying in a roundabout way is, how does that sound to you?
Yeah.
Pipe Dreams into episode 1.
Pipe Dreams into episode 1, and there'd be some extra shit in there that you could only get, merch, and there'd be some extra like audio in there. But essentially, what you'd get
Undecided.
but what you get on the vinyl is Pipe Dreams and episode 1.
Yes.
And then with the digital download that comes with it, you'd get some extra fucking,
Which is undecided.
Well, of course, but I'm not telling. That's why I'm saying extra. They don't need to know the specifics of it.
True.
Then you get in the hat, one of one design. And you are potentially part of our greatest ruse to date. Because punters and dribbles have been with us. They got us free KO. This is like early punt. This is early Hello Sports shit.
This would be the ultimate use of Punter Power.
Yeah.
But in exchange for us becoming the biggest album in the country, that's the hope. You also get access to the forbidden tapes.
The forbidden tapes.
You get the first ever podcast, Pipe Dreams, and you get the first ever Hello Sport episode.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty fucking reasonable.
To be a part of something where it's like we're gonna try and game the system in the best way possible.
How does that sound?
Every time we discuss it, I'm like, this is more and more, I think, what we should do. This is something we should do. I imagine a fucking ARIA plaque behind us, dude.
But also a vinyl and the booklet,
Yes.
the Genesis of Dribble and Yarn. I think that's just a nice thing to do.
Well, that's if you've been with us, if you've been fucking with us for as long as you have, we're almost at 10 years, punters and dribbles. I think it's next year.
10 years next year.
Then there are some of you that have been with us for a long time, and you've seen, the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs of the podcast world. You've seen us from, sitting on a couch,
Boys to men.
sort of stuff. We listened to the Forbidden tapes yesterday. We listened to one of them. We were like, fuck, we sound young.
It's crazy how young we sound.
It's crazy in 10 years how the voice changes.
It is out of control how young we sound. I couldn't get
ridiculous.
over it. I could not get over it.
No.
Kept fucking saying, shit, you sound young. You're like, fucking so do you, cunt. I'm like, yeah, great point.
I want a plaque, dude, and I want the dribblers to come along for the ride. We can't do it without them.
No, but I also think if we were to win the ARIA, we'd all be winning it. It wouldn't just be us.
Of course we are.
You know?
But it's the only way that
It'd
it
be
gets
like
over
it'd
the
be
line.
like the punter and the dribbler won an ARIA. That's what it would be.
Yeah, and technically it wouldn't be winning an ARIA, but it'd be the album of the week.
Earning one.
But it's not an ARIA. It's an ARIA plaque.
Whatever.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, but fucking hell. Nickel and diming.
Yeah, we're winning an ARIA. We want to win an ARIA.
We want to win an ARIA.
And podcasters
If
should
you
be able
if
to.
you get an award from ARIA,
You've won an ARIA.
you've won an ARIA.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that. We have.
So we all want to win an aria, and we've been
We'll do it. Fuck
we've
it,
been
dude.
tossing and turning to
Let's
and fro
do it.
about this.
I want to do it.
We seem that we feel like it's in a pretty good space in terms of what it looks like.
Listen, I think we could make it. I think.
If
I mean,
you put it this
ultimately,
way-
you just got to make it worth the punter and the dribblers' while to be able to fucking
Put it
get
this
on
way:
board.
if you would also you'd be winning yourself an aria, but you'd also be listening to the first 2 ever episodes, which will not be released otherwise.
No.
Not happening.
Nah.
Nuh-uh.
Nah.
Nuh-uh.
Nah.
Absolutely not. Even listening to fucking episode 4 yesterday, I'm like,
Tough
Jesus.
listen. It's hard for us to listen to ourselves generally, but it's funny you go back and you listen to those old
Oh, it's a
tapes.
time capsule.
It's a serious time
It's
capsule.
a serious time capsule.
Yeah,
we used
yeah,
to be
yeah.
a lot more ruthless. I'll tell
Well, listen, I think we didn't. No one was listening, so it's easy to say some fuck.
you. Well, you know what? It was unguarded.
it was.
That's what it was. It's
Yeah,
how-
but we're not guarded now, so that's the only problem. I just think we're smart. You don't. There you can be unguarded without being maybe a little bit stupid. You threatened a fucking front rower in the NRL, and one of them
yeah, I did.
threatened 2 actually.
I threatened probably 3 or 4 people in that podcast. It was only 20 minutes long. I was threatening everyone.
Yeah. So you're getting access to the lost tapes, the original 2. You see the genesis of Dribble and Yarn. It's on a fucking collector's item record with, photos and yarns and shit from the time, from over the years. And you're also you'd get a fucking hat and
You would get a hat, yep. And the digital download.
digital download with extra stuff in there.
And
And
piece
we
of history.
and we
a
become
piece
an
of history.
aria
And
winner.
a piece of history.
The podcast, we'd be mounting this bitch on the wall.
You get a piece of history.
Yeah.
That's what you get. So we sort of think it's pretty cool.
Well, it's very fucking
And
cool.
we get asked constantly about the lost tapes. Well, here's your opportunity to listen to 2 of them.
Yeah.
The genesis of Dribble and Yarn.
Yeah.
You've listened to them, Tobler.
Yeah, I've listened to a few of the lost tapes. They're funny. It is wild to think it was just you 2 10 years ago sitting around
In the
a
fucking studios at
microphone.
Triple M, snuck up into the
Triple M.
fucking into the Triple M offices.
But I don't think you sound that young. I think you still sound.
Mate, I listen to this guy all day, every day. He sounds a lot older.
Yeah, right.
Still look young, but sound. I think it's a bit more. And
It's gravelly, more gravelly.
we've been doing a lot of podcasts the last couple of weeks. I've been doing a lot of talking. I think that's part of it. Also had a big weekend, so my voice, particularly at the moment, feels a bit more gravelly. But there's a depth, I think, to our voices.
There's more baritone.
We've got a bit deeper.
Oh, yeah.
But it's funny, you can see the style hasn't really changed that much.
It's like I think the
It's
style
kinda weird.
has just it's been like maybe sculpted a bit, like it's raw.
Yeah.
It's very raw.
It's raw. The style
Very
is
raw back then.
That's what was funny about it. I'm like, yeah, I can see where we were going.
There was things that we still to this day carry forward.
yeah, that was funny. There was one which
What
isn't
was
giving
that?
away anything. It was where it just so happened that some team on the weekend had had someone sin binned, and then the opposition took the 2, and you were
And
like,
we were going,
these
"Soft,
fucking weak pieces of shit took the 2. They just got sent off. Well, like it just was funny. We'd literally been talking about how weak the Sharks were, like on Monday. Anyway, I want to win an aria, bro.
Do you want to win an aria? Hands up if you want to win
Hands
an
up if you
aria.
want to win an aria. The problem is, Taylor Swift could drop an album the same day and you won't win the biggest album in the country, but who gives a fuck? There's probably not many Australian
Well, there's
artists.
timing comes into it, but I
Yes.
think that if you're favoured by the gods,
Yeah, then you're favoured by the
then
God.
you're favoured by the gods.
And the beauty of what punting and dribbling has been built on to this date has been Punter Power, which is, hey, early days Hello Sport, we just started spamming KO on Instagram saying, give us free KO.
Yep.
And the dribblers just fucking hammered them until they did. Ricky Ponting, I'm pretty sure the first time we got him on the podcast, it was leave comments on this fucking photo and tag Ricky Ponting.
Kelly Slater almost
Kelly
got him.
Slater. Kelly Slater, I'm prepared to almost say we got him.
Well, we did because we were in conversation with him.
Yeah, he hit us up and goes, can you do it in half an hour? And we couldn't because we have jobs, Kelly, and what the fuck?
It was like 11:30 at night.
Yes. He was like, I'm in a car for the next hour and a half. Can we do it in half an hour? I'm like, no. So I technically think we got him. But listen, our dear friend, what's his name behind us there? Our son from SENQ, Ben Davis.
Ben Davis, yeah.
Absolutely buried because he talks shit and the punters and dribblers stepped up. You know?
This would be
this is the final level
Well, it's final boss.
of final boss of punters and dribblers is the aria.
Yeah.
That's the final level. So if you believe in punting and dribbling, if you believe in
what it's about.
if you believe in respecting the purity
of
the
dribbling
craft,
yarn.
then you'll help us earn an aria.
Yeah.
Win an aria.
Yeah. And we wouldn't be doing this to earn money either.
No, this isn't.
This isn't about making
Let
a
me
buck.
tell you, we've looked into this thing, and
This isn't about us trying to
we would be
make a dollar.
we'd be preparing. We're readying ourselves to sell at a very digestible number to the punter and the dribbler.
So
Also,
that we
there's
make
a
no
lot of hands in the pot.
Yes. So some people have to make money, but it won't be us.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't do it for money. We do it for glory.
No, this is for glory. This is a glory play. Yeah. Fuck, it'd be
I
glorious.
want in my eulogy to be like, and Dad also won an aria.
Yeah. The time Dad won an aria.
Dad won an aria.
With his best mate and about fucking 400,000 dribblers.
50 years ago, Dad won an aria. Maybe let's go 60 years because that makes me 94. That's
That's good. That's a good knock.
60 years ago,
Bucks
Dad
ton.
won an aria. That'd be fucking.
You might fucking reach up out of your fucking coffin and grab that
No, I'd be
thing.
buried with the cunt.
Yeah, good point.
I'll be
Well, do we get two? Because then we'd need to work that out.
We just get a replica. You have the replica.
No. We scissor, paper, rock. No, I'd lose that as well.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, I don't know.
We just
how
cut
we'll
it in
work
half.
that out. Yeah. We're brought to you by the best punting platform on planet Earth, and that is our good friends at Neds. They support us and, in turn, support your ability to enjoy us. We were at the races on the weekend, hosted pots, look into it, and having one of the times of our rugby league lives. I love responsibly punting on the ponies.
Mate, it's unbelievable. The only way you can join the pots though is you got to have a Neds account. You jump into the About Even group and you follow along, mate. It is the best fun a young punter can have.
Yeah, responsibly.
1,000. It's all responsible, Tom. But shit, it was a good time. The group was absolutely firing.
Yeah.
We're landing bets. The pot's humming. Then it's not. It's just a lot of fun. Shout out to Neds for the opportunity. And again, if you want to follow along, you need to be with Neds, babe. As simple as that.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. I feel like Thursday podcast generally, obviously we're doing a lot of rugby league given it's that time of year. I do miss a bit of the what's going on in the woo-woo world. And I don't know, I don't have anything. I thought you had something on Monday where it was like, fuck, that's a good Thursday chat.
Was that the...
Oh, was that the Kawasaki thing?
Oh, well, it was the Kawasaki horse. I saw one the other day, and this is on this was a Rogan thing, but I haven't seen it. I just saw it as like a headline somewhere. But that someone on fucking Rogan saying the Chinese have already genetically modified humans.
As in cloned them. Genetically modified. We've been genetically modifying for a while.
Yeah, Alex Jones has been saying pigs and humans. Yeah, what does he call that? What are pigs called? Not equine. What's the Latin?
Swine?
Swine and human DNA.
What about they resurrected the direwolf?
The ancients talked about pig-human hybrids and fucking gay frogs.
It's an episode of Seinfeld. There's a pig man on there that Kramer sees.
Oh, really?
Half man, half pig.
Can you see if the Chinese have been genetically modifying humans? We will get to more rugby league.
Also look up if they've been cloning humans. Because obviously Dolly the sheep.
But what genetic modifications have they done to humans? Is that like CRISPR and shit? Or can you look up?
You can.
They brought back
with IVF and shit. You can fuck with certain
eye color, gender, and shit.
Yeah.
Dude, they brought back the dire wolf. Do you see that?
I did. I heard about it.
What the fuck does that mean?
I literally just said that.
Oh, did you? Sorry, dude. Yeah, they brought back the dire wolf.
They've created 3 direwolf pups using ancient DNA, cloning, and gene editing technology.
Can you give me
Okay,
a bit more
so
info?
like,
on
let's
that?
alter the genes of a grey wolf?
Let's just stop for a second. If they can bring back a dire wolf using ancient genes, does that mean they could bring back dinosaurs using bird DNA?
I mean, is he the man for that to answer that question?
Google it.
Or just maybe read this article and see if there's implications.
Yeah, this
Because
colossal...
it's the implications.
Because I've always thought that the premise to
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park was super sound.
Yeah.
Mosquito in larvae.
Blood in mosquito.
Blood in mosquito.
Blood into dinosaur.
Bob's your rugby league uncle.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And also, like, you think about you want to get thylacine on me. We got thylacine pups in pickles. You know,
Mate,
pickles.
people. Good honest Tasmanians will tell you they're instilling West Tassie, the thylacine.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
How do you know?
Because you'd have photos now.
There's grainy ones out there, mate.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. I want to believe. I tell you what I'd love for us to do one day, and it's obviously, it would be...
Go looking for the thylacine?
Well, yeah, but it would be a thing where it would be money no longer an object, and we could just go, you know, we don't need to, like, obviously our...
We can do cool shit.
Our business, we're already doing cool shit, but our business is tied to week to week grind, you know, set of 6, get to the end of your set, kick to the corners. Fucking truck it.
We want to chip and chase every now and then.
We want to chip and chase, and I think if there's a period where, like, money no longer an object, we go, okay.
Buy a good day.
Let's book in a trip to go try find the thylacine. But
talk to thylacine hunters.
That's what I mean. I want to see hunters. I want to get into all of it. Let's go do an alien thing. Let's go do, we call it the tinfoil sessions or whatever, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I'm with you, dog. The fucking Loch Ness monster.
Lockie, dude.
Where's Lockie at, bruh?
And just because we only surface level skim this shit with maybe a YouTube video here, a Rogan guest there, a fucking, you know, an Instagram story, whatever. But see, like I wouldn't go Bigfoot. Bigfoot to me is bullshit.
I'd go Yowie.
What about the fucking Blue Mountains Panther?
Well, it's there. It's a thing.
Let's go find that.
That's a thing. There's footage. There's photos of that thing.
Let's go find it.
Yeah.
Is
it a Yowie? Is that what the Australian thing is?
Yeah, like the Australian Bigfoot.
Yeah.
The Australian Kinder Surprise.
So what this company...
I think it's... is that word indigenous? Yowie?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
They've been talking about the Yowie for millennia.
Yeah. But I mean, I think there's some big apes getting around.
In Australia?
I don't know about that. No.
There was giant wombats. That I do know.
Yeah, there was. Giant sloths. Was that here? Don't know. Megafauna, they like to call that, Edward. Just this direwolf thing. Have we got a bit more information?
Yeah, so what they've done is, so grey wolves are a species of wolf that are still alive, and they share 99.5% of the DNA with the direwolf.
Okay, so that's what
And so their purpose was they took DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull.
Fucking hell.
And then they analysed that DNA and then changed the DNA of the grey, or to make it like closer to the grey wolf, and then they made 20 edits in 14 genes, and then put the
So basically,
the cells
did
into
they
eggs.
just analyze the DNA using those two objects of the direwolf and then edit the genome structure of the grey wolf?
Yes.
So
And
they're
that
not
is what
really
they
bringing it
clone
back, but
and
they
put in
kind
a
of
surrogate.
But they would be genetically identical.
Yeah.
So then that seems like, I mean, is there an implications part to that thing? Like, is there anything where, because then, like, I guess there would be certain things based on that you couldn't bring back unless you had something that was genetically relatively close.
That's why I said, like, how genetically similar are birds? Because birds are avian dinosaurs.
Yeah. Well, crocs are fucking dinosaurs.
So, like, there's things getting around. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. Definitely not against you.
So they're not exactly direwolves either. They're like 99.99%.
Okay, they're not direwolves.
That's what I mean.
The same.
99.99. I get it, but you're not.
But in the pursuit of Jurassic Park, Tom, this is where you start.
This is a step.
This is a stepping stone to Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Which I would go to.
Also, if you recreate a dinosaur, 99.9% of a dinosaur, you're probably going to look like a fucking dinosaur. You're probably like, oh, that's a T-Rex.
Well, not necessarily.
Of course not necessarily, Edward. But if you're 99...
We're like, what are we, like 70% banana?
More than 60%.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like...
So 0.5% could be a fucking shitload.
So we're 70% banana.
More than
60%.
Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say?
So you can... Okay, right.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to make
That's
sense.
a shitload.
That's a lot of banana.
60%
I'm
banana.
mostly banana.
Yes, mate. That's what I'm saying.
So like one slight deviation and you go from banana.
So, I mean, 99.9 might sound like fuck all, but it could be a great deal. That's what I'm saying. Given that we're over 60% banana.
How's that even work?
Oh, don't bother. Don't bother.
This has scratched my Thursday itch. I'm not going to lie to you. It's really scratched it.
Yeah, 60% banana.
This whole chat, it's scratched it in a really fucking big way. Just before we move back to rugby league, have the Chinese, or even not have they, is that what this guy was saying on Rogan? That
There
he's
was-
fucking...
There was a scientist back in 2019 that was sentenced to 3 years in prison for helping produce genetically edited babies.
That's obviously not, that's not the same as what I was... What's a genetically edited baby?
They would edit certain genome to have like desired effects, I suppose. Like you can, they already do it with, like, as you said, they can do it with
CRISPR.
Yeah, I think they do it if there's as far as I'm aware, if you're doing IVF and there's a risk of certain
Abnormalities.
I think they can edit them out.
Yeah. And there's a moral and ethical conundrum there.
So in the US, if you get IVF, you can pick your gender. No problem, sweet.
Really?
That's the land of the free, home of the brave. In Australia, you can't unless, for example, there are issues with a certain sex.
So you can pick it in America?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd do it.
I don't agree with it. Personally.
I don't agree with it. I don't not agree with it. If you want to do it, sure. I'm just more like, I don't know that I'd want to fuck with that level of the purity of it.
That's why I don't agree with it. It's impure, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's up to the gods.
Yeah.
Is how I would like to think.
Let the gods
but
decide.
obviously, if the male line carries some sort of abnormality, and then you to de-risk it, you go female. I get that. That makes
Fucking
sense.
oath. Yeah,
That's fine. But in a 2-horse race where everything's fair and equal, I think that you just leave it up.
Leave it to the horses.
Leave it up to the horses to decide.
Yeah.
That's my rugby league opinion.
Yeah.
Because then you start to I think that if you're picking, I think that ends up in a world where there's imbalance. Look what happened with the China one-child policy. Like,
that was never going to work. That was an insane policy.
but like, I think that largely the world would scale male. I'm as a girl dad, I think that's fucking. I'd be
Scaling
screwing female. But like we've seen in the world,
I'm
already.
doing my best for the female.
You are, babe.
Species.
And so am I.
Female gender, not
We're
species.
4-0 over here, baby.
Yeah, we are.
We're doing our bit.
Yeah.
But again, the Chinese showed that if they get one choice, they're picking male.
Yeah. And listen, that's
So
maybe
the fact-
culturally on them.
But my point is, if everyone starts picking, then I think these little things arise. I don't like it.
No.
I don't.
I
Like
don't think you should be able to pick. Can you come get on his mic? Because no one's going to know what the fuck you're saying.
I believe so. What I was saying earlier, I think Sebo's
Well,
going
let
to
him just
say
fucking
in
say
a
the
more
mic.
articulate way.
Go on Tobler's mic. Welcome, Sebo, everyone.
Sebo's Mr. Thursday.
Mr. Thursday,
He's been
Sebo.
playing off the pine lately.
I was just saying nothing crazy, but what we did it. You can get tested, both of you. There's like 800 things that can kind of be wrong with a human when they're born, right? And you can actually get tested to see if you have the things that link up together. So one of you could carry a gene that, say it's Down syndrome, but if the other one doesn't have the thing to link it up, then you're not actually at risk. I'm not saying 1,000%, but you can actually know if there's a chance. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, but you actually know that there's no chance of that thing happening, or that thing happening, or that thing happening.
Yeah,
before you have
right.
a
So
kid.
you can actually, because I think there's a thing like that with like cystic fibrosis.
Yes, like stuff like
where,
that.
it takes like a specific thing from both parents for it to be.
So that's new, isn't it?
Yeah, so we did it.
I heard
like,
about
yeah.
that. I heard about that recently as well.
Yeah.
But you both get your bloods done and to see
Yeah.
what the risks are.
Yeah.
Genetic carrier screening?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Carrier,
new.
because you can carry the whatever it is.
Well, like, if you're both Parramatta supporters, they'd be like, probably you guys shouldn't
Well,
procreate.
your kid's going to be born up in a world where
where it's gonna have a sad life, and we don't think that's fair. And that's more, I guess, they're not genetic. That's more a docs thing. Two Parramatta supporters can't get married because the child has no chance. Then Punters and Dribblers, do not forget.
Don't dilly-dally. Get down to Randwick on the 19th.
Of
'cause
April.
we're going to have a good day.
Well done, Edward. That was great. Now, we don't want you to forget. Tickets still available for our Dribblers Day Out, 4 Punts, Hello Sport, Randwick Race Course. Randwick Race Course. Members, trackside, one of the great days. Ticket includes food and booze, Edward. Can't be missed.
And a Dribblers, Punters and Dribblers Fedora.
Yeah.
And trackside access. And Members Pavilion. And
I said all of this.
all the good things.
All the good
that
things.
he's already said.
That I've
But I'm
already
going to
said.
say them again.
Yeah.
Because-
But get your tickets. Get your friends together. It's an Easter long weekend. Get your mates together. Missos, mates, your mum, if she's fucking got nothing else to do. Get down. It's going to be a fucking ripper day. Before you look to a bit of rugby league, can we look at the UFC card this weekend? Because our boy Alexander the Great Volkanovski, who we thought wouldn't know who the fuck we were whenever we were at that thing the other day.
Newsflash.
Well, listen, we are...
Newsflash.
We're perpetually insecure, not generally speaking, but in moments like that, where you're like, "Oh, Volk's there," you're like, "Fuck, don't even look at him."
I think as a defense mechanism, as just like living in a society, you don't assume that.
One of the greatest fighters of all time is going to know who you
And
are.
one of the greatest strains we've ever
Yes.
produced is going to know who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
I think that is arrogance.
Yes, it is. I'd prefer to skew
Humble.
nerd, loser, like, oh. Now, also worth noting, he didn't really know who we are. He remembered our faces and said g'day.
Which is good enough.
That's all I'll take.
Don't take first name and
No,
birthplace,
you don't look at a
mate.
gift horse in the mouth, mate. I
yeah.
loved that. I just didn't. I wanted to set a clear picture. He wasn't like, "Hey, Tom and Eddie, how you going?" I choked you out once. But
Now,
this fucking card on the weekend.
it's actually pretty fucking
No,
decent.
dude, it's a hot card. Now,
Our boy's back.
Brycey Mitch.
Brycey Mitch.
Dude, this John Da Silva guy, I think. Now, Bryce Mitchell is a good fighter. He is. But this John Da Silva, he beat the fuck out of someone.
Bryce top 10.
I don't know. I would say no. But that's.
I think
don't-
he might have been in the past.
I haven't. I feel like I haven't seen a UFC event for a while.
I think there's been a bit of a breather.
It feels like there's been a breather, almost maybe since Pereira lost. But
No, he's 13th.
13th, there you go. So Bryce Mitchell obviously had some really nice things to say about Adolf Hitler recently.
He said he'd like to go fishing with
Well,
him,
that he
didn't
would have been before like all the war stuff. He might have been a good guy to go fishing with. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing there. I don't really want to get into it. Anyway, I think the UFC is like, we're going to serve you up a fucking animal, and like everyone wants to see you get your head smashed in. So hopefully that
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But also, that's what you should get for saying that.
Yeah, correct.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Do you want to say Adolf Hitler would make a good fishing buddy? You need to fight someone who's going to flog you next time.
Yes, beat the living shit out of you. So that one there, but actually the fight before that is Dominic Reyes and Nikita Krylov. I don't know how to say that, but
Reyes, I know.
Reyes famously, you could argue, beat John Jones, but the judges didn't. It was the closest fucking fight you've ever seen. But
Split decision?
I think it might have been split decision. Pro John Jones here in a fighting sense, so I was happy that didn't happen.
Nice
Anyway,
caveat.
Yeah. Worth having
It's
that.
unfortunate that that's needed,
Worth having.
but it is.
Anyway, Dominic Reyes and Krylov, whoever that is, and then Jean Da Silva, hopefully to put an absolute hurting on Bryce Mitchell, who, again, he's putting out some funny shit on Instagram. Hitler stuff withstanding. And I mean funny as in dumb. Yair Rodriguez, heard of him, fought Volk, I think, in Australia. Was that the first Volk fight we saw?
No.
He fought in the undercard of Volk Islam, maybe.
Yes, I think
Against Emmett.
Yes.
Smith?
Yes.
Josh Emmett?
Josh Emmett, the Yank.
Yeah. Anyway, Yair's a fucking motherfucker. Pitbull, Patricio Pitbull, he's been fighting in Bellator his whole career.
Is this his first UFC
I
fight?
think this is his first UFC fight. 36-7-0. Like, he's a fucking veteran. He's been around for a while. I have no idea how this fight goes, but Pitbull's like a...
Pitbull.
He's a pitbull. but he's a fucking good fighter.
Chandler Paddy Pimblett, who's looking ripped
Yeah.
as fuck. Saw a photo of him today looking delish.
Yeah, this is one that's interesting because Michael Chandler is a entertainment machine, right? He's a great wrestler, and then he'll just go in there and seemingly he'll just throw down.
He loves to just throw hands.
Just put on shows, right? He lost to Oliveira, I think, recently. I think his last fight was a repeat against Oliveira that he lost. Probably ends his title run aspirations, and maybe it just slips him back into like, I'm the fucking box office guy that you want to watch. Like I may not be the champ, but you're gonna want to watch me fight. Paddy Pimblett,
He's good at padding main events.
shit, yeah, co-main,
Yeah.
Paddy is, how old's Paddy Tobler? He'd be in his early 30s now, I reckon.
He's just 30.
Just 30.
Just 30.
He'd been on the
He was on the march
yeah.
and then had some fights where they got scored his way.
Well, there was one that he still.
Who was that against? When he was like fucking, he definitely lost, but they gave it to him. And everyone turned on him.
It was against a relative nobody who he beat in that fight. He is. What's his ranking? I don't
Jared
know.
Gordon?
He'd be-
fight?
Yeah, what's his ranking?
12th.
12. So he's not even in the top 10 yet.
Chandler's 7.
Do you know what I mean?
I felt like it was in an era where the UFC was just looking for, has he got the chat? Has he got like a bit of a fucking vibe about him?
For a guy that's not in the top 10, he's one of the bigger fighters to not even be in the top 10.
100%.
yet. And he's
100%.
30. You know what I mean? Like,
He's not young.
30's not young. It's not old, but it's not young.
It's not young.
Chandler could definitely beat him. But Paddy's fucking weapon on the ground as well. He's actually more of a jiu-jitsu guy. But the way he fights, like the way the critics of Paddy in the past have been, he fights with his head up, his chin out. Doesn't tuck his chin a lot, so he's there to be hit.
Tuck your chin, son.
I have no fucking idea. What are the markets doing? I'd be interested to know where the money's going.
For just that biff?
Just for that fight, yeah. Because I have no fucking idea who wins this one. Paddy maybe would be the favourite, younger.
Paddy, $1.65 and Chandler, $2.25 on Neds.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I could
What's
probably
Volk
see it.
paying?
$182 and Lopez is $2.
Wow. So the main fight, Volk v Diego Lopez. Diego's a fucking psycho. If you watch him fight, he's one of those guys that looks like he hits really fucking hard. And then when he gets hit in the face,
Is this for the vacated belt?
Yeah.
Yep.
So Volk to be a two-timer. But it looks like the sort of guy, like it hurts to be hit. Could you just get up Lopez's record? Like he's 28, what is he, 26-6, Volk's 26-4.
I've always found it funny how that works. Like you've got to lose the belt to get to win it back and then become a two-timer. But if you defend it, it doesn't count.
Like there's almost more prestige to being a two-timer on
It
some level.
sounds better.
Yeah.
Whereas like it actually implies you've lost it.
Yes, but I guess it also...
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's probably fucking harder to win it back after you've lost it because the implication of you losing it is that there's a new weapon in town.
True.
To win it back is...
To win it back is super difficult statistically.
Yeah.
Like almost no champions come back and win again.
Yeah.
Very, very rare. Very rare.
So in that sense, it is worth...
So I get
Yeah.
what you mean. Yeah. I suppose it's a little bit different in... It's maybe a bit different in UFC because there's one belt. Boxing, you can win multiple belts.
Yeah. Okay, have you got his record up, Tobler?
Yeah. 26-6.
I just want to know, like, when his last loss was, for example.
2023. May 2023 to Cejudo. Decision.
It's shit, so he's come up in weight.
Yeah. So this is only his 8th UFC fight?
And how many?
Wait, where did he lose to Cejudo, though? In the UFC?
2023, yeah.
Yeah. But so, at 135, where is it? I can't see it.
Doesn't say.
Oh, there it was. It was there. So it wasn't in red. Moslav Evlev.
Where does it say the
Oh,
weight?
sorry. On the Cejudo card. I got that
I
confused.
was going to say,
That's
I don't
me.
remember fighting Cejudo.
Evloev.
Okay.
Go to
So he hasn't
go to Wikipedia.
fucking
Go to
beaten
Wikipedia.
a shitload of cunts.
Go to Wikipedia and do it. 'cause
The
it'll give us the weights.
Yeah. But the people he's fought there, and that's not a just like he You know,
I've never heard of him,
I
and he's
have.
getting a title fight.
No, I have.
He's ranked third.
Yeah, that's the thing. He is a good fighter. He's like, there's no knocking him being good. I guess it's just like when you think of the usual suspects you might see on someone's resume in the featherweight division.
The featherweight division has changed a lot, though.
Yes, it has. But you still have... So, like, Brian Ortega, he beat, right, in a decision. But then there's Yair Rodriguez. There is, I think, Josh Allen was another one in there. Obviously, Max Holloway. Fucking the actual champion who's now gone. What's his name?
Taporia.
You know,
Taporia.
like there's
Techies.
there's more. Like Dan Ige, yeah, Dan Ige's good. He's all right. Like, but none of these people are fucking wildly. That doesn't mean anything. That's not me saying he's fucking shit. Or
So what, are you basically saying that's a shoo-in for our boy?
I think Volk wins, but also Volk's old. Volk's 36, 37 now. I don't know. It'd be a huge... Dude, have you seen the photos of him? Have you seen how Volk's looking?
No.
Go to UFC's Instagram, dude. Volk looks fucking... And also get Volk's record up, just to give you context of what featherweight records look like. Get that record up first, and then we'll look at Volk. Or no, get the photo up first. Dude, Volk looks...
Incredible.
Incredible, dude.
Great. Because he'd be a hungry man. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, lad.
There's another one where maybe it's on Bloke's Instagram. PK commenting there.
What would PK say?
Just fire emoji.
Love that from PK. Fucking hell.
Shout
he's
out to
jacked.
PK. Maybe in the story. There, look at that. Look at the state of that cunt.
Wow. That's a man ready to go.
When you compare that with how he looked in the Islam second fight when he came in off the couch, like that's what being ready for a fight looks like.
Well, completely different things, Tom. What did he take that fight on? 7 days notice? 10 days notice?
12 notice, yeah.
Yeah, that was madness.
Now, if we just go to Volk's record it doesn't even matter. Just go to his record. He's actually on a 2-fight skid here, but he's beaten Yair Rodriguez. This is featherweight. His featherweight record after Taporia, which he lost. Yair Rodriguez, Max Holloway, the Korean Zombie. No, go down.
Brian Ortega.
Max Holloway, Jose Aldo, Chad Mendez. That's that's where you don't need to go back any further. But just to give you, that's a long time.
And good judges will say that he won against Islam in Perth. Champ stuff.
Exactly. You could argue he might have won against Islam. He did not win against Taporia, and he did not win against Islam on 12 days' notice. You almost should know that on your
In
record.
fact, that was probably where things started.
Yeah, that was a bad decision.
For the worse. It
That
was him
was
taking that fight against Islam because Islam looked so fucking cut and ready and hot and
and
big.
he kicked his fucking head off. That was
Islam
not,
looked huge in that fight, bro. Huge. And
that
poor old
was
Volk looked
not
sloppy.
a good decision. Anyway, I can't wait. This is obviously on main event.
It's in Miami. Should it be, 12 or 2 p.m.?
12 main card.
Can you get the prelims up? I would just be interested to see what the Fight Pass prelims are. Get Fight Pass, punters and dribblers, if you want to watch the prelims.
I'm excited. I'm so excited for this weekend.
Yeah. Anyway, Dan Ige, there you go. Jim Miller, 400 years old against Chase Hooper. Look at that record for Jim Miller. 38 wins, 18 losses.
He's 41.
He's 41. He fought at UFC 100, 200, and 300.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Big Jimmy Miller.
Chase Hooper's a good style of it. He's like and they go to early prelims. That's where you get your value for Monday. I like the early prelims. You see people like you've never fucking heard of. Sometimes it's someone you have, but like just usually it's the up and comers.
So early prelims will be at what? Fucking 8 o'clock.
a.m.
8 a.m. Perfect.
God, I'd love to have been flown to Miami by the UFC. I get that they wouldn't do that necessarily, but I'm just saying at some point,
Well, if not Miami, maybe Fight Week.
International Fight Week in Vegas in June. just after we get back from our holidays?
I think it's the end of June. There's a bit of time.
Okay, sweet.
There's breathing room. I
Come back
believe
from
it's.
our
I
holidays.
believe it's in between the second and third Origins.
That'd work out quite nicely. We get back from our holidays, we go to a charity golf event, then we go to Vegas, come back, then it's Origin.
Yeah.
June
That makes a lot
25
of
to
sense.
29.
Yes.
June 25th to
25th.
29.
Yeah, so it makes a lot of sense. Because I get back on like the 9th.
I go back the 11th. I'd love that from the UFC.
I think it makes a lot of sense for Tom and I to go to Fight Week in Vegas
Yeah.
and interview fighters and just make world-class content
Yes,
for the people.
That's it. For
For
the
the
people.
people.
They want to see how it goes. Like, what is it like over there?
No, for the people. Like, you want to talk about promoting the sport? I don't think that Fight Week, International Fight Week's been done properly in this country.
What even happens there? I don't know.
No one knows.
No one knows.
It's not been done properly. It
No
hasn't been
one
done properly.
knows.
No one's touched it in the right way.
No.
And I'm talking about touching it in the right way.
touching it, getting it going,
Yeah.
arousing it.
No one's got International Fight Week going like we could.
I feel like International Fight Week in this country isn't being given the bloody coverage it deserves, and Eddie and I should be sent to Vegas to cover it.
Yeah. And be back in time for Origin 3.
We're taking time for Origin 3. Business class.
Wouldn't go otherwise.
Business class.
Wouldn't go otherwise.
Probably wouldn't be able to make it work otherwise. We couldn't.
We should try. We should try.
It's very hard to sit in a fucking economy seat for that. long.
I would be too tired.
It would be because you got to come straight.
And then I
back.
come back. I come back tired, and I
Sore
I
now.
can't give enough to my
My
family.
back hurts. My family need me.
And now I've got
so
dad back. Now I've got dad back.
so-
Anyway, like I reckon that makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Anyway,
Let's dribble because we've got
Well-
a meeting.
exciting news in the world of Be Good Health, and that is we've got Good Day Daily Multivitamins. We have added Daylights, Daily Electrolytes drink. It just launched yesterday, Monday the 6th of April. Daylight Savings. And
So that's Sunday it launched.
what did I say?
Monday.
Did I say Monday?
Yeah, mate.
I meant Sunday because today's Monday. All I'm saying is hydration now something you need to be paying attention to.
1000% it is. If you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. 8 out of 10 Australians are dehydrated. You need to have electrolytes in your fucking water or salt to make a difference to your hydration levels, punters and dribbles. We've made it easy for you.
Yep.
You don't need to be ripped to drink this.
No, you don't.
It's a hydration drink for the punter and the dribbler.
That's right.
BeGoodHealth.com.au. Use the code DRIBBLERS for 10% off. It also tastes fucking incredible.
It tastes amazing. Watermelon flavored. What up?
What?
Hey guys, just getting in touch following the Turbo injury chat last week. And something that I haven't heard you guys speak about, surprisingly, is the size of the man's appendage. I've heard a couple times now a good comparison that's been given is that it is the same dimensions of an All-Star remote or a Foxtel remote for you City Slickers. When fully soft. Now, surely a penis of that magnitude would have some impact on the body. Like,
That's good.
Who is
is the
this?
body drawing
Turbo.
nutrients from other areas to keep this penis in good shape, and that's affecting the rest of his body? Or him in full flight having that thing swinging around, is that throwing his gait off? Like, is that affecting the way his body moves?
That's a good
I don't know,
point.
but I'm sure this is up for discussion. Anyway, cheers.
We have discussed before about the size of Tommy Turbo's penis.
We called it the T1.
But I'd never, in good faith here, I'd never heard that it was the shape of an All-Star remote, which certainly now gives me a visual of the sort of what we are working
Well, I don't know if
with
it'd be
here.
the shape of one, but the size of one.
Well, the size of one, but it sort of bells out at the end.
Because the bell's at the top, though.
Yeah, but the
And the
penis,
L.
some big dicks do that.
It goes like this, the All-Star
Yeah,
remote.
it goes out. So if we now know that it starts thick, gets thicker, as a mushroom does.
Thick, small, thick.
Yeah, but it doesn't need to get. It's not. It doesn't probably not like exact. But if you go thick, mushroom, and then it closes off at the foreskin, the reservoir tip, thins out at the forey.
Right.
Well, that's how a forey sort of like bows.
So
it
you
up.
reckon it goes like that?
That's what this guy's describing.
Sorry, we're getting bogged down.
Getting bogged down, dude. He's saying, does that potentially affect the hamstrings having something of that size hanging off the front of you? I think it does.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And I think that it's something that you can't talk about on NRL 360 or 100% footy. They can't talk about why he's getting sent to America.
If you had...
It's not because he's fucking you need Hayden Knowles or whatever is Bill Knowles from the fucking Eagles to work on his bloody hamstrings. That guy didn't do shit. It's about trying to find a place to disperse the fucking weight in the front of his pants.
What did Bill do?
For his $100,000.
Fuck all.
Yeah, because it's not about the hammies. It's misdirection. It's about this guy's fucking meaty cock.
He needs to have a chat with Sherbo because Sherbo he was a master rapper in the end.
True. And Sherbo was able to run with a big dick and not have it become a hamstring.
He was a master rapper.
Yeah.
He could rap that thing properly.
Yeah.
I think he needs to have a word to Sherbo.
Or maybe even to friend of the show, Courtney Act, who used to tuck it into places.
Well, Courtney's a tucker of some note.
Yeah.
I'd say probably Australia's foremost tucker.
Yeah, preeminent tucker.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah. So maybe Tommy Turbo goes for a session with Shervo and Courtney, and they just talk about creative and innovative ways to hide immense meaty cocks and balls.
Here.
Shout out Courtney, we'll be hosting Eurovision with Tony Armstrong this year.
There you go.
There you go. We can spot talent.
Yeah, we can. I mean, Courtney was already here. Tony Armstrong fucking giving us a run around. Where are you at, Tone?
Tone, where are you at,
Tone,
mate?
where are you at, bro?
G'day, boys. The old council worker, dribbler, protector of cities and that bus work. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, what a loser. But just listening to 737, old Sydney Chan with the old Sebo and Eddie, sorry. Just on what your boys are saying about fucking not watching the trailers and rocking up and watching the movie. I'm all for it, yes, but you just got to have an idea what's coming. What I mean by that is because, you know the fucking movie The Joker, with the Joaquin's name is, the first one? Fucking unreal. Great movie. So obviously, end of last year, Joker 2 comes out. Go to watch it. No fucking trailers. Yeah, Joker 1 was good. 2's going to be the same. Rock up. Fucking Lady Gaga's in it, and it's a fucking musical. Like, what the fuck, cunt? And I paid for gold class tickets, so I'm not fucking walking out. Anyways, had to put up with it, had a snooze, but is what it is. Major hassle. Regards.
See, I didn't realise Joker 2 was a musical.
Yeah, well, that's because you haven't watched it, and no one has watched it because it was so fucking bad. And it was like, hey, you've done so well with Joker 1. Don't overthink it.
Joker 1 was amazing.
Amazing. Terrifying. Like, it was a fucking edge movie.
Terrifyingly amazing.
Yes. And then to go make it a musical, everyone said it was shit. No one liked it. And it was like, you fucked it. You firstly fucked with it by going for a sequel. You could have left it and it would have been a masterpiece.
That did not need a sequel.
It would have been a masterpiece forever.
That did not need a sequel.
He won an Oscar for it.
Yeah, he did.
It would have been a masterpiece forever. You went for the thing on. You got high on your own supply. You sniff your own farts and you fucked it.
That's just fart sniffing 101.
Yeah, it is.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Fart sniffing 101. I take myself too seriously. I think I'm like a genius.
Let's make it a musical.
I know what the people need. Well, the people decide what they need, bro.
And listen, I'm not anti-musical. I am kind of, but like, don't fucking.
You know,
if I'm in on this, don't now go and switch the genre up on me.
We've talked about this on the podcast before, Go Woke, Go Broke. We've talked about how Disney shit the bed with Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, denied dwarves a real opportunity to shine.
Listen, I get dwarves can have their own. You don't need to be a dwarf in a dwarf role, but this was made for dwarves.
No, it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. It was a layup for dwarves.
Yeah.
Right? Just like fucking in Game of Thrones,
Tyrion Lannister,
who's a dwarf in the book, is played by a dwarf. Like that. Did that offend anyone? No. So they fucking dropped the ball trying to get.
Do you know why they did that? Because Tyrion.
No, I know.
Had a fucking whinge.
Well, he's part of the reason.
Of all the people to come out and be like, oh, this is like co-opting my culture. It's like, you played a fucking dwarf.
Anyway, it's bombed at the box office.
Bombed. It's just like 200 million.
Yeah.
It's like one of the worst rated movies of all time on IMDb.
Yeah. It's like 1 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah.
It's lost like 168 million. That's just on movie budget, not including marketing. So it's lost like 300, 400 million.
Yeah.
Get what you deserve.
Well, it's just, you you fucked a lot of people around on that thing. And also the movie isn't Snow White. They're like, a man fucking kisses her and wakes her up. That's so rogue. And it's like, it's a fucking fairy tale.
It's not real.
It's not real. It's a fairy tale.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. Like, you know how he's like an actual animal?
We had to update it because she was fucking a giant dog. We felt like that was a little inappropriate. It's like, yeah, fairy tale.
Yeah.
Fairy tale, not real.
Yeah, people just roll with it.
It was a tale told by fairies before they got extinct. Look into it. The fairies extinct.
Yeah. Like the Lion King's not about fucking. It's not humans just running around on all fours.
No,
it's about a lion that can talk.
When Simba's
how's this lion talking, man?
When Simba's mounted Nala.
Man, how's this lion talking, man? Man, how's like that's fucking.
Yeah, but you're speaking with a right wing twang when it should be a little bit more left wing.
Whatever. It's just a fun voice to do.
Oh man.
Oh me.
How's that talking lion fucking that other talking lion? Man. Colour techies.
Yeah.
Do people think we're left wing or right wing? By the way,
well,
I don't know.
No. People on that
because some people are saying we're right, we're left wing, and I'm not. I don't have wings. I'm wingless.
Someone said the other day, "Can you two cocksuckers?" Just admit that you're fucking eastern suburbs, elite private school right-wing conservatives. And then the other day, they wanted me and Seba to admit that we're left-wing cocks.
Yeah.
So I don't know where I sit.
I don't know where
I've been accused of both.
We're getting accused here.
Well, because I said, why can't I said I'm surprised a billionaire hasn't had a nice emotional experience in the hospital and donated money. And everyone's like, what you're talking about, you left-wing cock.
Yeah,
but then we're also right-wing elitists who went to good schools. So I don't know.
Listen,
I can't tell.
Yeah, I'm wingless.
Keep guessing.
Yeah, keep guessing.
All right. Now this is off the back of Newtonian Rugby League. What if? Now hear me out. Nathan is the Hewan. He said light was made up of waves, and he's the Hewan of Rugby League. And Joey is the Newton, who said light was made up of particles. And now they're both right and wrong at the same time. And the Panthers basically won't get the damn thing done until they get an Einstein, who said light was both a wave and a particle. Cheers.
That's a science dribbler, right?
Yeah, that was. He was loving our Newtonian chat. You can tell.
He was giggling.
Yeah, he was. He was.
And he was like, Hewan was right and Newton was right. But they were both sort of wrong. And then Einstein comes along and makes them both right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're not going to disagree with you, science dribbler.
No, definitely not.
And I'm Toey. I'm getting Toey here and how Toey you
He
are.
was excited, dude. Yep. He was very excited.
Yep. How many more, Tobler?
One more.
Tom, Eddie, punters, and the dribblers. It's the bro here of Holiday fame.
I knew it.
Just want to welcome back. Just want to say a big welcome back to the dribbler hotline. And give a big welcome to the Div gang, to Eddie. Congrats for us. Also want to say congrats to my boys Loms, who's back in the Div gang again, and Tyler, who joined for the first time. Congrats, boys.
Shout out, boys.
Just want to note that it was 9 months after Loms' 30th where I gifted him a bottle of Good Day Rosé and some sachets of Good Day multivitamin that his baby came. So that was one of the reasons I had to jump off the Good Day. Sorry, boys. After going back-to-back with baby's Holly Holiday and Rosie Big Day Rosé, I couldn't really risk the Penrith three-peat with the Daisy Good Day, especially after I heard Tom, Eddie and Denon all kick some divine seed through the goalpost in the space of a year after it came out. I couldn't keep on it. Sorry, boys. No hate. Just couldn't risk it. And to the bro who was dribbling the other day about saying dad dicks look unhappy or down or something, I'll just say, brother, it's it's not the old boy down. He's just relaxed. He's playing fucking footy now. He's done his job. He's won a premiership. Now he's just on cruise control to final season again. Ready to rip in. And if you want to get him into that mode, like I said, just take some Good Day in. Just take some Good Day, and that'll get the blood pumping for the bro. Pop that in the morning, make the missus a grumpy coffee, pair that into a rosé at night, maybe with some Holiday playing in the background. And that dad dick will be going harder than George DeFord jamming in from the wing, if you know what I mean. Anyways, boys, as always, love your work. What's up to nudes soon from me. And bears soon, dribbles forever, rubbers never, apparently. Anyway, peace.
Good
Holiday
stuff.
dribbler, one of the greats.
He's an OG. He's an OG, no.
Huge fan of his work. He's right though.
Yeah.
Dad dicks aren't sad, dude. They've just won a comp,
Yeah,
so they're
that's
just cruising.
They're you know what they're doing? They're sitting on the ground post premiership with their trophy in between their legs. They're just taking it all in.
Just taking it
Look
all
what
in.
I've done.
Soaking it all up.
Yeah.
Love it.
Soaking it up.
Dribbler of the week for the holiday?
Yeah, I fucking know that
It's not even close.
No, yeah,
Email turbo at hellosport.com.au.
We'll get some good shit to you at some point soon. And punters and dribblers, remember the Grumpy Coffee code is manly because we're grumpy, but also bloke jerseys. They got some limited edition bloke jerseys going on sale 22nd of April. They're limited edition bloke jerseys.
Yeah.
Tuesday, not the Monday like usual because that's a fucking public holiday.
Tuesday, the 22nd of April, get after it.
Yep.
Bloke.shop.
Could you two just not talk anymore?